15 seconds, sorry. Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us is Fausto Pugliese, President of Cyber Trading University, and we're going to take a look at trading multiple markets using Nasdaq's TotalView. And Fausto, what I love about having you on the show is we don't necessarily need to know what every company is doing, what the fundamentals are behind it. We care about support and resistance and where the volume is.
Exactly.
And with this first example with Blue Apron, I mean, you look at that chart, it's just going up, 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 up. Where's resistance on this thing?
Well, the beautiful Blue Apron had a really nice move this past week, and there was a couple of really nice examples that we had. Blue Apron, one of the biggest problems that people had, they just don't know when to get out of its position. And here we had a Blue Apron moving up really nice over the course of the day, and it had some news coming out around 11 o'clock, and all of a sudden it just popped from like $5.60 and went to $6.30. Now, like we always talk about, how do you know when to take a profit, Jill? And Blue Apron went all the way to a big resistance, and by using Nasdaq Book Viewer, if you look over there on the sell side, I pointed out we had basically a 500,000 share seller, which makes up about 82,000 shares. Stock came right to it. So what's nice about the Book Viewer, it just gives you a game plan where to get in and where to get out. And we go to the next slide, you'll see that not only it hit it once, but it hit it twice. And we did talk about that last week about double tops and triple bottoms. But at the end of the day, it's all about seeing where that order is. And if you didn't get out there, Jill, boom, you went from 630 all the way down to 590. And you can make a big profit into a little profit or maybe even to a loss.
Right. Yeah. Well, the same thing if we look at ShiftPicks next, we're trying to determine where support is. Again, if you look at the other side of the chart, see it going down. Where do you find, your points to get out?
Well, and ShiftPicks was a really, really nice stock. This had a great pop early this morning. I know they were talking on all the financial stations, and this stock was one of those stocks that went from like $20 to about $50 in one day. So us day traders, what we usually focus on, which a lot of the people don't realize, you could trade in pre-market. And this stock started making a nice little move around about 8 o'clock this morning. It came up on our watch list. And if you look over here on this level, we had a stock about 15,000 shares looking to be bought on the bid right around, and this was about, I don't know, about 8:15 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. Now remember, Jill, the market didn't even open up yet. And you could see that the buyers are already starting to come in there. And those day traders, we like to trade pre-market because we see those orders. And then sure enough, boom, you could see how the stock, once the market opened up, once we got it around 9 o'clock, 9:15, traders start coming in. Stock runs from 10, moves about another $10 in pre-market, and it went literally up to as high as about $26 a share.
I want to take a look at Lucid because this is the first time we've covered a stock where there's actually two levels of support just based on where you see all that volume.
Right. So you see this stock right here, it's going down, and as a trader, once again, booking profits is key. You can also short stocks, and people don't realize that. They think it's risky. Well, listen, people trade options. This is, to me personally, it's not as risky as options. It's just the same exact thing. Whatever goes up comes down twice as fast. And here you have LCID going lower. And then the big thing is, let's just say you own the stock, and some people are like, do I sell it here? Do I hold on? Well, if you go back to the book viewer, you'll start seeing that there are a lot of orders out there right around $14, $13. You got 45,000 shares, 17,000 shares. Now, listen, if you look at all the buyers out there on the book viewer, like we said before, you got 100 share buyers, 200 share buyers. You got one share, one order, 3 orders that make up those orders. Once we got around that big block order, I have those little trend lines that right there at the bottom. Look how this stock just snatched right up. It came right down to that big buyer, and boom, it went from right to $13.85, right back up to over $14, $15 a share. And that is the difference, because sometimes if you look at this example, this stock came down pretty quickly. And that also gets people very nervous, so they'll jump out. But if you're patient, you look the book viewer, see where the street it's at, have that game plan, know where they are, have some confidence in those orders, and like we always say, those are real orders. Get in when they're in, and then you'll be safe.
And our last example here, Kohls. I mean, we're looking at multiple hundreds of thousands of shares on the order there.
Well, that's another thing. People think this is just more inexpensive stocks. I mean, it's not just inexpensive stocks. It also works for more expensive stocks. Kohls, nice little stock right there, had a really nice push around 1030. And when you can look at it is that this was a monster seller right there. If you look at that, it was a 332,000 share seller. And when you look at the book viewer, once again, 200 shares, 500 shares. I mean, when you do the math, if you add that up, that's a lot of money right there. Huge major resistance levels. And you could see that once it got close to that resistance levels, boom, the stock came right back down. And once again, the only reason why you hit that resistance level is because of that big iceberg order.
Yep.
And it's following the iceberg orders and those big block orders that are going to give you that game plan, when to get in and when to get out.
All right, Fausto, appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.